So David, is it about harnessing the frustration from the last two games, or do you put those behind you and focus on just this one?
I don't think there's much frustration other than the result from Chesterfield. I thought we played really well and we deserved the 3 points. So not so much that game, but certainly the first half of Barrow, yes. I thought we, having watched it back, we actually played more football than I thought we did. And we did deserve a draw at least. However, we didn't, so we're in a results business. I didn't see the sort of inconsistent performance coming after the previous two good performances, so that was disappointing. But we've got to make sure that we get as consistent as we can be, as quickly as we can be. Now that's not going to happen overnight, but I think everyone can see what we're trying to do now, and it's now like becoming really good at that against teams that press us, teams that sit in the mid block, teams that sit in the low block, and there's different challenges to all that. We're going to do that home and away. So there's sort of boxes we have ticked, excuse me, but then there's also outstanding things that we haven't done. So we've got to get the answers to them, and that's the key bit. We've got to keep developing, keep progressing, and show the progression in terms of results, but also in terms of where we've gone in this this season really, and continue that upward trend. And if we do, then we'll pick up more points, and our performances warrant. Like I said, we could have had an extra 4 points from Chesterfield and Barrow, and we haven't. So we've got to make sure that we also pick up points, and that starts on Saturday.
And how has training been this week? And is that part of the message, that it's remembering those good performances, and we could have got more than we have?
Yeah. I think it's easy for me to sit here and say could have this and should have that. The brutal fact is that that's not the case. But I'm not stupid enough to know that underlying performance, if that is good, then you're going to get your just rewards eventually. So we've got to make sure our performance levels remain high. Because when they did in the second half Saturday, the previous week, previous couple of weeks, we will win games of football and get points. And that's the key thing. We've got to cut out silly mistakes. There's no getting around that. And if we do that, then we will win more games of football. And that's always the challenge. We're going to be asked lots of questions. There's going to be lots of balls in our box on Saturday. We've got to stop lots of balls in our box. We've got to stop lots of forward passes. And if we do that, then we'll give ourselves an even greater chance of winning the game.
I suppose you mentioned it there, balls in the box. Is that what you expect from Bromley, and that's how they're going to attack the game?
Yeah, I can't say that's just the way, because that'd be extremely unfair on Bromley. That we all know how hard it is to get out of the National League, and they did that last year, and they deserve a huge amount of credit for that. So it'd be absolutely remiss of me just to say they are play one way, because they don't. They've got some good players, certainly some really good attacking players, that's sure. So we've got to make sure that we answer any question that they pose of us. We've got to make it a really good atmosphere, like we had against Bradford. We've got to give the fans something to cheer about, so that we hope that whatever Bromley try and do, and however they play, with whichever players that are taking part in the game, we've got the answers to it and more, and we combat their threats and we take advantage of their weaknesses.
You picked up on the fans there, and making it a special atmosphere. It's our celebratory anniversary game, Blundell Park 125. You've spoken previously about making it a tough place to come. That's got to be the mindset starting Saturday, hasn't it? Yeah,
look, I thought, I mentioned it in the press a couple of weeks ago, when that last 20 minutes against Bradford, the fans didn't half help. They were terrific, outstanding. Last week we didn't give them much to cheer about, and everyone got frustrated, and there was nobody more frustrated inside BP than me. So, we still need a little bit of patience every now and again. We still need, at all times, everyone to get behind us, and we hope that on this celebratory match day, that we can give everyone something to cheer about, and we make it a real good atmosphere. That's down to us first and foremost. But we know that when it does become rocking, then it's a fantastic atmosphere. It is an old ground, and the old grounds always tend to give the best atmosphere. So we'd like to see one of them inside BP on Saturday if possible.
Does that excite you, the prospect of what it could become?
Yeah, I've said it quite a few times. We understand that the emphasis is on us, on the players to get the crowd to a point where they want to stand up and cheer and clap and sing and shout. And it won't always be plain sailing, but what we do know is they're fantastic, regardless. I've had a fan come down to the training ground this morning saying a few things which was extremely nice, and it's the first time in my career that's happened. It will remain private, but I thank him for his words. He didn't have to do it, that's for sure. And he understands, and I'm sure that's reflective of all the fans. We're all trying to make this football club better. We're all trying to take it to the next level, and we need every one of us, and that's right from owners, chief execs, managers, head coaches, whatever, through players and fans and sponsors and everyone pulling in the right direction. And I genuinely feel we all are. And now we've got to make sure that, you know, we do the business and we become more consistent, both in matches and from match to match.
And finally, just an update on the squad. Jade and Luca, just in a bit, any closer to featuring?
They're not far off, but they're not quite ready yet. Yeah, that's the general synopsis, if you like.
Is Curtis still making progress?
Yeah. He's not far off. He's been outside again today. He's, you know, as with any hamstring injury, it's always sort of the last few days and weeks where, when you get to the real top end speeds, you know, if there's a niggle, 3 days later, you've got to wait 3 or 4 days to it all settle down again. So we've got to make sure that we treat Curtis properly. Not that we treat anyone improperly, you know. But we've got to make sure he's right, because the last thing we want is him to come back too quick and bang. So, you know, he's progressing nicely, and he'll be back when sort of Mother Nature allows him to be back, if you like. So we know it's not far off, but at the same time we don't want to rush that for the sake of 1 or 2 or even 1 game, whatever, 1 or 2 days training, and put him at risk.